What do you do if you feel lost in life? If you don't know what steps to take, you don't even know where you are, you don't know your goal, you don't know your purpose, you're just lost. What do you do in this situation? Well, in this video, I want to give you a different way of looking at it, and then some practical things that you can do to start taking the right steps, perhaps. What's up, legend? It's Sherman here from Geek Psychology, where I help geeks, gamers, and creatives to have more confidence and motivation. And understanding yourself is extremely important. And a lot of the times I see this question like, I'm lost. I don't know what to do. Help me, please. What can I do? I'm stuck. I don't know where to go. I don't know what I want. Right? This comes up all the time. And so I really want to dig into the metaphor of what that is. So imagine that you are lost. I know a lot of people are like, well, no, it's just a figure of speech. The language is there for a reason. We choose those words for a reason to represent what is going on inside of our mind. And if you imagine that you are lost, okay, I don't know where you're lost. It could be in a desert. It could be in a forest. It could be in space. There's tons of different things that will bring in different metaphorical connections. But just imagine we're lost in the woods, because I hear that one a lot. Okay, that person doesn't know where they are. They don't know what steps to take to get them closer to getting out of the situation, perhaps. Everything just kind of feels like the same. There's no distinction. There's no clear markers or signs for where to go. There's no path to follow. They probably don't necessarily want to go back to where they came from. They're looking forward to going somewhere, but they don't really know what that is. And each step doesn't really make a difference in their mind because they don't really know what's going on. They don't know where they're heading. It would be scary to take steps. Right? So a lot of times we're probably just going to stand there and overthink, or we're just going to walk in circles, not actually getting anywhere. And so there are some clear things that need to be set in place in order to get out of this situation. And you're a bright person. I'm sure you can figure this out too. Maybe we'll talk a little bit about darkness and brightness and stuff, light, in another video. But if somebody just says, okay, turn right and go left and then go straight, but if you don't know where you are, like, that doesn't, I mean, where does that start? From here? From here? Is that I go in that direction? Well, that's going to get me somewhere else than if I'm in some other location. Does that make sense? Like, if I'm in my house, me going right and left and straight, whatever, that's going to get me into the bathroom, right? But somebody else, it might get them to the hotel. It might get them to wherever they want to be. So you have to know where you are in order to get to where you want to be. And I consider this to be like defining your character. Like if you're going to play a game or something like that, you need to choose a character. You need to choose some sort of representation of yourself in order to at least start gaining the skills around figuring out more of that complexity of who you are and your choices. If you're constantly trying to just figure out where you are or who you are, understand, I've got this missing piece, and you're constantly trying to figure that out, but you haven't actually done the work of deciding where you want to be, well, that's another issue as well. So you need to also have a quest. Okay, you need to have some sort of clear goal and decision and direction that you want to go, because if you don't have that, even if you know where you are, how will you know if you get there? How will you know when you get to the thing that you want, or that you're even getting closer? Because it's not defined. There's no clear demarcation. So within that, you need to understand, what is the thing that I want? I can see myself. I have a vision of myself achieving these goals, of doing these things, of having this life, of having these relationships, of having this thought pattern of waking up in the morning, smiling at 6:30 a.m. and going upstairs to work on my business. If you don't have that clearly envisioned, then it's really hard to know if you're making progress towards it. How do you know if you're taking steps in the correct direction if you don't know what that direction is? So define your quest. And from there, it's about following a path or creating a path, using your mini map essentially to constantly track your progress. Like in Skyrim and any games like that, I would open up and just leave the map up while I'm walking and stuff because I was constantly getting lost. I couldn't figure out where I was. I would constantly forget like where to turn on this little road or what I'm looking for. It was just awful. So I had to keep bringing that map up. Okay, and in a lot of games they put it in the corner too, right? They have this little map over there that helps you figure out where you are, and it's, you know, lately it's got like an arrow that just points like this is where you want to go. It's got little dotted steps and, you know, the path along the way. That's important, right? It helps you track, I am making progress in this correct direction. So you need to measure your goals, right? You need to have some sort of measurable, okay, I did this thing in the morning, it worked, it helped, it did this, good. That was a good thing, check it off, right? Okay, what's the next step? What am I going to do this week? What am I going to do 2 weeks from now, a month from now? And have it all lined up so that you know where your quest goal is and where you are now. And with that, you're also using and utilizing your capabilities in the way that is best for you. So if you don't know who you are, if you don't know where you are, what life is like right now for you, if you haven't really clearly gotten that written out or anything like that, then it's going to be hard to align yourself, right? And to orient. And I know from my own experience too, what we do a lot of times is we just overanalyze it. We stop and we think like, I'm just going to figure this out. I'm going to stay right here. And I'm just going to think. I'm just going to stare at it. I'm going to just mull over it again and again and again. Think of all the different possibilities. And that doesn't help you take steps forward if you're lost, right? That might help you understand yourself, but really the best way of understanding yourself is to make progress towards something. Just start taking steps. Just start doing stuff, moving in a direction. You're going to figure out where you are. It's like when you got your iPhone and you're like swirling it around with Google Maps or something like that to figure out where you are, to help locate yourself. That's what happens when you start moving towards a goal, any goal. And through doing that, then you start to be able to define it better and say, actually, no, it wasn't exactly where I wanted to go. I want to go here. Just slide it over just a little bit. And sometimes you look at the map and you're like, nope, that's definitely not where I'm at. Like I can look around and see that's not where I'm at, but I know where I want to go. And so you have to kind of work back from there. You have to swirl around the phone even more, and you have to understand through looking at the locations, looking at the things around you, where you are. So I know that this is kind of a strange way of looking at things for some of us, but for some of us, it's also exactly what we needed to hear, to understand that you being lost in life requires you to identify yourself, where you are in the present moment, your strengths, your weaknesses. There's a lot that goes into that, I understand. And identify your goal. Where do you want to be? What do you want to be doing? What is the end game result that you're seeking? Clearly. What are the rewards for it? What are the consequences of it? What's the experience going to be like? And then taking the steps to get there and tracking the progress along the way. That will help you find yourself in life. That will help you not to be lost, because you're actually making some sort of movement and you're pinpointing where you are, where your goal is from there. Let me know down below in the comments what your metaphor for being lost is like. What is it like for you? Are you in a swamp? Are you in a forest? Are you in the desert? Are you floating in space? Is it something completely different? I don't know. Let me know. Keep up the lifelong questing. Good luck, have fun. Peace.